Hello, everyone. We are continuing our conversation on Human Skills Project. In the last episode, you came to know about TED, and we have discussed just moments ago that I requested TED to focus on the book that TED last authored, which is filled with amazing, amazing insights. And I can tell you with absolute confidence that it is life-changing. I also have come to realize, knowing Ted for a very long time and being his friends and reading a lot of the materials that are also connected, my academic materials, but that are connected to Ted's work very intimately, I felt that a lot of uh, in a lot of pages, I kept on like highlighting, marking, keeping note, and I felt like, oh, that needs, unpacking. That needs unpacking. So today I have my notes and the book all highlighted. So I'm going to um, mm, I'm going to start by that. So Ted, the book Shit Happens. Yep, Shit Happens. You build on your previous work of Six Laws of Cooperative Action. And I was thinking, okay, for our audience or anybody to be able to remember that easily, I thought of to offering a mnemonic, like a small way to remember.
Mhm.
Um, can you first tell the six laws of cooperation, uh, laws of cooperative action, and
Corporate
then
action.
I'm going to offer the mnemonic and which letter is connected to which law for our audience to remember, and then we will cut it as like a small clip, and we can put it for somebody to watch it like in 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, that would be great. I think the one of the keys, and what we should probably talk
Hmm.
also sometime about the actual 2% factor. I'm not sure whether
Hmm.
we did that on another video or not, because
We
that's
did
a
in the last video, so
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Hmm.
true, because
Hmm.
that's the basis, right? They
Hmm.
run everything.
Hmm. But you,
And
you can start again here. You can quickly introduce 2% factor, and then we can proceed from
yeah,
there.
because that's part of that's
Hmm.
part of the key
Hmm.
of why people
Hmm.
are afraid to do things and are afraid or being in conflict or
Hmm.
and that sort of thing. It's because that small minority. And again, don't get hung up on the 2%.
Hmm.
It's it's small minority as opposed to general public, because that 2% can vary depending on the situation you're in. It seems like there's 30% sometimes,
Hmm.
and so I don't want people to get hung up on, well, Ted, it's got to be more than 2%.
Hmm.
Sometimes it feels that way, yes.
Hmm.
But there are a group of people who put on this planet to totally mess with us. And I say they drive the Antichrist of the highway, the minivan in the left hand lane,
Hmm.
and they won't move over, and they have no concept of what's happening around them. They have no concept whatsoever. They're so self absorbent in what they are. They're the bullies. They're the thieves. I mean, I could even name a few, but I don't want to name politicians or people because I don't want to date this, right?
Hmm.
So the whole idea is these are the people who are the bullies. They're the people who in corporate, the VP who everybody hates, but no one wants to challenge.
Hmm.
Um, and it is about 2% because I asked our local police, what's the percentage of society that'll pick up a gun and shoot you no matter what? And they said 2%. And and so I did some work with the UN, and there was a psychiatrist in the UN, and he said, Ted, you're bang on. He said the psychology is women are 1% crazy, men are 3% crazy. So that roughly, and that's probably why the world's so screwed up the way it is too, because we need more women or soft-sided people rather than that patriarchal crap that goes on.
Hmm.
But here's the key: the 2% run our entire planet, and that's something that the listeners should, or the people should know about, the audience. They run our entire planet. We have 100-kilometer-hour speed limits because 2% can't drive. We go through the beepy things in the store because 2% steal. Kindergarten teachers can't hug their kids because 2% molest. We won't pick somebody on the side of the road because 2% mug. So you see the mindset? Every rule in every corporation, in every institution, in every household is based on the 2% who screwed up ahead of us. And so it hamstrings us to be fully, truly ourselves. An example I like to give is you'll wear an outfit, 1,000 people will see you in that outfit. One person will come up to you and say, "You're looking a little fat in that, Ted," and you'll throw it away. Because our mindset is so on that 2%, and that's a key to the model. Now let's take it from a person to an incident for a second. You're going to have the best day you're having, or you're having the best day you're having in your life. You go out to your car, you got a flat tire. That flat tire becomes your day. So your 2% becomes your 98%. And the whole concept of the model is to put everything into perspective and keep that in perspective. Because it's whenever so if you have heart issue, now you're a heart victim. If you had a bad customer out of 300 customers in one day, you've had a bad day. And so what I try to do in the whole process is to understand that, yep, shit will happen. There will be shitty people. There will be shitty days. There will be shitty incidents, but don't make the 2% your 98%. So that's sort of in a brief what it is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and of course, if you have any questions to expand any of it,
Yeah.
I know you'll step in.
Yeah, so for our audience, if you didn't see our previous conversation in the video podcast or in any of the podcast platform, in the last episode we have talked about Ted's journey, and one of the things that I love about Ted's work is that he comes from such rich experience. One of the things that we say in academia that sometimes you can be living in ivory tower, that
Mm.
you work in research, you work in academia, but that is so removed from actual real life. So, in other words, um, academia needs to be able to connect to the society.
100%. And we've
And
talked about that many
yeah,
times.
yeah, and Ted very lovingly makes fun of my perennial academic life. But one of the things which connects to my work to Ted's work is my doctoral research in understanding trust. That how do people and Ted talks about Ted writes, and this is the model that he has developed, that 6 laws of cooperative action. But the fifth principle is about trust and respect. And I say that no relationship in life is possible without trust.
That's right.
And that does not only mean that trust with each other, even our ability to trust our own feelings. Um,
So true. So true. So do you want me to start going through that now
yeah,
and
yeah.
the 6 laws?
Hmm.
Um, because in the research I did, and we talked about this earlier too, tenet number one and the most important one
Hmm.
is to celebrate the individual as the foundation of all relationships. Now, first of all, of course, you have to celebrate yourself.
Hmm.
Most people are not happy with who they are. They don't like themselves. It's that 2% that they make the 98%. Oh, I got a wrinkle here, or I'm a little too fat there, or geez, I'm not as pretty as someone, or I'm not as handsome as someone, and all those sorts of things. So the first thing is trust yourself. Celebrate yourself. I usually say in my audiences, every morning, stand in front of a mirror naked and go, yes. and, and in my audiences, most people, they shudder. They say no, but why not? Do you see what I mean? So first you trust yourself, because when you trust yourself, you have a better understanding of how to make the right decision for yourself because you know yourself. Secondarily to that is then you trust and celebrate everybody's right to be who they are. even the most vile person in your sphere of influence, celebrate their right to be who they are. Because that way you won't have to fight them. Okay, that's who Feroz is. That's who he is. That's okay. The key, and as we go through the model, is I don't have to be with it. I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to, So the very first thing is celebrate everybody's right to be who they are. That way you won't have to go around trying to change people and use the terminology, you should, you should, you should. Right? I mean, we do that in relationship. We fall in love with somebody and we say, I love you, I love you, I love you, now change. Right? Change the way I want to. Tenet number 2, because authentically, I want to just be Ted. So I want to go through the world just being Ted. I don't want to have to censor my thought. I don't have to worry about whether I offend you or anything. So the being yourself and celebrating yourself isn't like bull in a china shop. That's why I created tenet number 2. It's everybody should be allowed to do anything they want as long as they don't knowingly adversely affect the plan or anyone on it. Inadvertently, we can insult somebody or harm somebody because just by being Ted, and I know I'm a bit of a, I wouldn't say garbage mouth, but like even the book title, shit happens. Like I've had people say, oh, Ted, you shouldn't say that. Well, why not? Right? And so if I have to censor Ted's talk because I'm so worried about offending somebody, I'll never be authentically Ted,
Mm-hmm.
which is tenet number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So tenet number 2 is I won't knowingly harm anybody. So if I do something and you say to me, geez, Ted, I didn't really appreciate that, then I will say, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you or do anything. And I will do my best not to do that thing around you anymore. Now, a bit of a caveat, we go to tenet number 4. I will never lose my sense of self. I will apologize for how my actions have affected you, but I will never, ever apologize for me. Right? So that's tenet number 1. I celebrate your right to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Tenet number 2, I do my best not to harm you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see that the first 4 tenets
Mm-hmm.
intertwine.
Right.
So tenet number 3,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing something and I need to speak to you
Mm-hmm.
because what you're doing is either annoying me or you're creating me angst or something. So I need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
In the full study of my model, I believe that everybody honestly 100% believes they're right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is hard to swallow and I don't know how to put it. Maybe you've got a different way of putting it, but in my world, nothing's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so if you believe you're right in what you're doing, but I believe what you're doing is adversely affecting me or it's bothering me,
Mm-hmm.
then tenet 3 is, I'll paraphrase
Mm-hmm.
because we can put it up later on, but I'll paraphrase. So it's basically, um, when you're communicating with somebody, you communicate respectfully, directly, and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
telling somebody what you need, not what they're doing wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the basic concept of tenet.
Mm-hmm.
So I will always tell you, listen, when you do this is how it makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
Not how dare you do that? That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're part of the 98%, this is the real key. If you're part of the 98%, you will go, wow, Ted, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
I will do my best not to do that again. If you're part of the 2%, you'll give me half the peace sign
Mm-hmm.
and you'll tell me to screw off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I make another decision
Mm-hmm.
on whether or not we're going to be in a relationship together or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I should say relationship. I use that word relationship because it's everything: customer, friend, colleague, love relationship, family relationship. It's all the same. And people write books on this relationship, that relationship. No, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same. So number 1, I celebrate your right to be you. Number 2, I do my best not to harm you. Number 3, if I need to speak with you, I will speak respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
directly and honestly telling you what I need, not what you're doing wrong. So now tenet number 4 comes into play. I will always look for a balance and equilibrium
Mhm.
to create cooperative action without losing sense of self. It's a little more complicated in a way, because what happens is, in my research, in my study, I found if people really like somebody and connect to somebody, they'll give them just about everything. Do you need a pen? Oh, let me come over and help you move.
Mhm.
But if I don't like somebody, or someone did me dirt yesterday,
Mhm.
well, I wouldn't do that for you because you didn't do that for me.
Mhm.
Well, that all of a sudden creates a conflict,
Mhm.
which may not be a valid conflict.
Mhm.
So it's tenet number 4 is, if I can, I will. That's a mindset.
Mhm.
If I can, I will. And I take all of the emotion out of yesterday.
Mhm.
So if you need a pen, sure, there's a pen. It's also, maybe I may not give you a pen after the third or fourth one, because I may feel in my mind this is now toxic and I don't want to play anymore.
Mhm.
Here's the real key to this as well. We have to stop telling other people what their toxicity level is or their line is. Everyone's different. So, where I put up with something more than what you may put up with, that's your business, not mine, to say,
Mhm.
oh, I wouldn't do that. Why would you let him do that to you? If you're comfortable with that, I'm out of it, right? So that's one. So number 1, I celebrate your right to be you. Number 2, I do my best not to harm you. Number 3, I speak to you respectfully, directly, and honestly, telling you what I need. Number 4, I will come from a place of, if I can, I will, but I will never allow toxicity in my life. See how the 4 of them run together? Which runs everything. Number 5 and number 6 sort of stand on their own. And this is what you alluded to earlier. Number 5 is, all relationships are built on mutual trust and respect, not power and ownership. And that's a key, because we believe we own our children. We believe we own our desk. We believe we use that word my. Oh, this is my car. This is my desk. Oh, that's my paper, right?
Yeah.
You're my wife. You're
Mhm.
my husband.
Mhm.
You're my partner. And, we continue to do this on a regular basis,
Mhm.
where all we do is own things. I don't own anything. I look after Ted, and that's it. Okay. And if you build it on trust, that enforces tenet number 1, because all people want to be, when I did my research, is want to be loved, cared for, seen, noticed. That's why we sign things. That's why our kids at 3 or 4, Daddy, Mommy, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's very important. So the trust factor, and trust also, and we get this all the time. If I said, are you okay?
Mhm.
And you say, yes, I am. I have to trust that. I may ask another question. Are you sure you're okay? Yes, I am. If you're not,
I have some follow-up question, but I think that will probably be for our next episode. But well, I let you finish,
because I,
and then yeah,
yeah, I'll have to do number 6, because
Mm.
number 6 is,
Yeah.
so number 6 is also, that's sort of the escape clause. Most people believe in number 6, or that we should be in a relationship forever. Like Ted, suck it up. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Oh, the job can't be that bad. No, the toxicity level that people build up because they're in the wrong relationship,
Hmm.
whatever that is.
Hmm.
So I created tenet number 6. Not all relationships are meant to be.
Hmm.
One people's way, maybe not our own. Acceptance is not necessarily agreement. And where necessary, it may be time to walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we teach is, try to walk away mentally,
Hmm.
so you may not have to walk away physically. We
Hmm.
have somebody in our life, everybody does. The way they chew gum pisses us off.
Hmm.
That's not their problem.
Hmm.
It's our problem. So we might have to walk away mentally at first to walk away physically. So that's it in a nutshell. Probably longer than you wanted, but that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so we
Uh,
can unpack all that throughout the series if you
right,
wish.
right, right. And I say particularly for um, your model, I have, and this is, I would like our audience to remember something from our previous conversation. Ted once said to me that while he was working with at university in Mexico, Ted asked the professors that go find out any context, any situation where you cannot resolve a conflict, you cannot resolve a tension if you apply the six laws of cooperative action. So in the next episode, I would like to show to our audience that how Ted's model of laws of cooperative action works starting from a small enterprise to a university, and Ted being part of our school advisor for World School of Bangladesh. So one of the things that we are trying our best to do is that glean the human factors, the um, relationship model from Ted's work and apply it to our classroom. What I have immensely benefited from my relationship with Ted is when in my beginning, in my journey in Canada, when I totally was at my wit's end, um, I needed some working model. I needed people to help me. Um, and times and again, when I discussed with Ted, I didn't understand at that time. Obviously, I wasn't thinking at that time that my doctoral work is going to be about trust. Um, but somehow Ted was able to make me feel at ease, to be able to trust him and to share my difficulties and get out of it.
Well,
S-
you know what they say,
Hmm.
when the student's ready, the teacher arrives. It's
Exactly. Exactly. So, in the next episode, Ted and I are going to discuss that how um, Ted's model can be implemented and which we are implementing in our school starting from playgroup to all the way to grade 12 A-level students that, yeah.
by the way,
Mm,
the professors
mm,
at the University of Mexico,
mm,
the second day when I had them challenged,
mm,
no one
mm,
gave me something that I couldn't solve. The model,
mm,
even though it sounds braggadocious,
mm,
is infallible.
mm. Yeah, you take the universal human conditions and you, but see, there is one thing to have all these universal conditions, universal human conditions in psychology books and textbooks, but how do you operationalize it? How do you actually make it work?
That's right.
So in our next episode, Ted and I will discuss that how, as a case study, as a case study example, that how these principles can be used for a K-12 education institution and how we are building an institution where children are respected, teenagers are respected, colleagues are respected. They're not treated as that if a child doesn't know how to spell a word properly, um, how we respond to that can inflict a kind of trauma into that child that will damage him, her for the rest of their life.
I think one of the things too, as we're talking, to put in your head so you can ask the
Mm,
questions,
mm.
this is also not about the new age way of raising children.
Yep.
You have to be responsible for your behavior. And if
Yep.
you're not going to behave properly,
Yeah.
you will be held accountable. The
Yep.
model isn't
Yeah.
about, oh, Feroz, you poor
No, no,
thing.
no, 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 no.
Okay,
It is,
I want to
yeah,
make that clear.
yeah, it is not about permissive parenting or
That's right.
permissive pedagogy.
Thank you.
It's not
Oh, there's,
permissive.
oh, you used that word. I didn't think it was going to come up so fast.
The pedagogy. Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
No,
yeah,
I want to be clear about that. I don't want people out there to think this is some new age
no,
touchy-feely. It's not.
it's not.
And
Yeah, I'm,
it also gives the person who's in the model the right to be pissed off.
mhm,
It does give that the
mhm.
right to be pissed off. So that's a very important aspect.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and I think if anything, I mean, one of the beauties of your work is that you're not touchy-feely. I think a lot of the people who are new to your work might at times feel like you're taking responsibility. It's about becoming whole.
That's right.
It's about seeing your own potential. It's not about like, okay, for me, I'm a victim. No, it is not.
That's right. And it's about choices.
Yeah,
Everything is choices.
yeah.
You know?
Hmm.
Oh, Ted, my mom. Well, why are you doing it? Not, oh, you poor thing. Yeah, you know, that must feel, so it's not you poor thing. That must feel awful.
Hmm.
So help me understand why you're still doing it.
That's right. Yeah. So we end this episode here. We are end of the almost like 30 minutes here. And we will talk to our audience in the next episode. And until then, um, thank you very much. And we'll talk soon again.
Oh, you know, we should end before
Mhm.
we, so
Yeah.
I write this, this is how I sign my books.
Mhm.
Because remember, yep, shit happens, but not today.
Okay. Not today. All right. Yeah. Give me a quick minute.